Welcome to the Forank Marketing Podcast, where we discuss everything about marketing, SEO, and PPC. Enjoy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Forank Marketing Podcast. I'm Leigh Buttrey, PPC specialist and one half of Forank, and I'm joined by Zoe Ashbridge, our SEO expert. Today on the Forank Marketing Podcast, we're talking about all things about our freelancing journey. This is going to be a real chatty podcast today. It kind of wraps up our 12th podcast, so our first full year of doing podcasts. So I thought we'd end it on a high and talking about our freelancing journey, where we've been, where we're at now, and all things in between. Hi, Zoe.
Hi everyone, hi Leigh. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so excited, Leigh, to be doing this one. I think it's going to be fun. It's quite early in the morning for us, 8:30, but I'm in a good mood. It's the end of my financial year, and we're talking about freelancing, which is all very timely. Yeah, and how exciting to have done this for 1 year now.
How are you anyway? What's new?
Not a lot really. I feel like, so in November I've been away a couple of times. Been on holiday to Spain. One of the holidays was a pickleball holiday, so I played pickleball for 4 days under the sun. That was nice. And I actually didn't get on my return flight because they overbooked it. Well, we overbooked it and they swapped jets and they gave us a smaller jet, so I didn't have a seat. But that does mean I'm now waiting for some lovely compensation. And I've already mentally spent it. I'm like, well, I'm going to spend it on another pickleball holiday because I was just an addict. I'm going to go down to Devon again and play there. So that's kind of it with me. Like I just said, I'm ending my financial year. I just scheduled the invoices for December, so I love that feeling of getting to the end of the year, and I always have this feeling of I made it, and I had a good year this year. Just a little bit better than last year, but I worked less, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, just that kind of end of year feeling of just making it, and then having that. For me, I always get this re-energized for the next year. But we'll probably get into all this later, so I'll stop waffling and I will ask you, Leigh, what's new? What's been going on? Work and life?
Oh, yeah, I feel the same. It's weird actually, and we'll get into this more, but I only really take a full 2 weeks off solidly from work over Christmas. So I'm gearing up for that. November has just been absolutely manic. It is one of the busiest seasons, I guess, for marketing, especially more on the B2C side, so it's been busy that way. My kind of work has got a little bit changed slightly as well, and we'll go into that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to ending the year on a high. It's been a great year. I think we both just discussed as well, how many achievements we've made. We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
I think I hit my 4th year this year. And I'm just amazed to see where I started and where I am now. When you sort of say, if 5 year you could see yourself now, I'd be so proud of you. And that's kind of
literally
full circle, this one. So I'm looking forward to getting into this.
Yeah, definitely. Same. Should we start with how the freelancing started? Because it was all a bit, I suppose it's kind of started with me, didn't it? Very initially. Yeah,
I guess I don't think I've ever asked you this. Why did you start freelancing? Was it because you wanted to go traveling? Go for it.
So Stu and I were traveling. So we were, I don't know if I must have mentioned this podcast. So Stu, my husband, and I, who's now my husband, we cycled around the world. So we cycled 24,000 miles around the world. And we got to Vietnam, and I had this desire to be a writer. So I thought, well, I wonder if I can just start writing and get paid for it. And someone else who was on Instagram was using Upwork. So I signed up to Upwork and I just started writing content for $10. So now we'd be writing full-on blogs for $10. But when I was in Vietnam, $10 was a lot of money. We could have some proper little luxuries. We were on such a traveler's budget. We couldn't really afford any kind of luxury. So $10, we'd be able to go and get a coffee or go out for lunch or something. I'd probably even maybe do that twice in Vietnam. And that's all I wanted. I wanted $10 to do that. So for me, the stakes were really low when I started. COVID happened. We got sent home from our trip. So I went to Sainsbury's, which is a supermarket in the UK, and I started working there really early in the morning. So I was doing the online picking. So I suppose everyone can remember what COVID was like. No one could go out. So online shopping became bigger. And I would pick the shop in between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. So I was up really early. That was lovely because I was on Vietnamese time. So I just like breeze straight into that. I could get up at 2 and 3 in the morning really easily. And then during that time, so I'd go to work 4 till 9, come back, nap, and then I would just get back on the computer and start freelancing. And that was my day. And then I just met this client called Zara, who really kind of got me rolling. She kind of paid me quite well. And she was like my first like proper client when I was like writing her case studies, that kind of thing. And then just kind of like helping a little bit with marketing. I had a blog because I was writing about cycling around the world. I had a blog go to rank 1 in Google for cycling in Azerbaijan, because obviously that is pretty niche, so like easy to rank for. And like I'd obviously learned the basics of like SEO in an agency where we worked on that, and then it just grew from there. To be honest, I just got more clients, put my rates up as I went. And then I can remember getting this one project. We still talk to the guy who gave us this project now. Like it's been a bit of a mentor over the years, really. But it was like a crow audit.
Oh yeah.
So an SEO, I think a bit of SEO and a crow audit. And this is where you started to come in then, Leigh, wasn't it? Well, that's when you come in bigger. So like when I would have these clients, I was doing a bit on e-commerce, and Leigh has got loads of e-commerce experience. And I would be like, I was just a bit scared, to be honest. So I would ring Leigh and I'd be like, can you help me? And you were like freelancing for free, really, because you were just helping me with it as my friend.
Yeah.
And this is where I think it's really nice, because I feel like I kind of started us off in some ways because my situation allowed me to freelance. But I wouldn't have freelanced without you, I don't think. I wouldn't have become successful with it.
Yeah, because so I moved jobs and I went in-house at a company, janitorial company. And we'd got talking, like we've always stayed in touch, and you were asking me advice and stuff. And then I think one of the clients wanted paid ads, which you couldn't do. And they were like, can you do it? And I was like, well, geez, I think they were paying me at the time like $25, $30 an hour on Upwork. And I was like, geez, like this is like on as a side hustle, like this is great. It takes me a couple of hours and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it gave me that like
$40 it was.
Was it 40? I can't remember.
Which was a lot of money then. That was more than our hourly rate had ever been.
Ever.
It was a lot of money.
Because I was on like, I think that back then I was probably on 30 grand a year with this company, which at the time was great. Like, you know.
At the time.
Moving to that, and obviously that became like a mutual client then. And I was like, wow, this could actually like be something. And unfortunately, I was going through a really like kind of tough time anyway. And I needed more money, essentially, to get out of the situation. And I think it was the catalyst, really. And I think you opened my eyes up to Upwork. Yeah, and then the next step would have been, like, subcontracting out through AS Marketing. Was that the next bit?
Yeah.
Which you introduced me to again. So how did you get into the AS Marketing?
Upwork. They were big. So people say you can't find work on Upwork. Rubbish. They were a big client for me, and we were there for like a couple of years, I think.
Well, I was there 3 in the end.
Were you? So I might have been there like 3.5 or 4 years then. No.
Yeah.
That's mad. Yeah, it's probably right.
Because I finished with AS Marketing January of this year, just gone.
Yeah, that was originally at work. And they were a huge client. We built them loads, haven't we? Massive. Really good agency, to be fair. We had a good time there.
So what we're talking about here is that AS Marketing is an agency in its own right, which hired freelancers. This model was kind of unique, I think, at the time when we started with this agency model. Adriana was probably one of the first to really do it. I've seen it a lot more now with subcontracting, but that's how that was like the steady kind of freelance. I think that was the catalyst for me to leave then. So I remember working, I wanted to build up enough clients freelancing to be able to leave my full-time job. And AS Marketing and another local agency, we won't say their name, but that's who we were working with at the time as well, Zoe. I remember doing 30 hours or whatever full-time work there, and I was essentially doing like another full-time job on the side to give me enough money to make sure I'm secure to leave this full-time job. So I remember like for 3 months, it was insane. I must have been working 80, 90 hours a month. It was crazy. But just so I knew I could have enough. But yeah, I think we were a bit of a force to be reckoned with, to be honest, because we both had a different skill set, and I think that worked in our favour.
Yeah, it did, big time. We are good at it. I mean, we had like So Leigh and I met in an agency in Shrewsbury. And we can say who that is, can't we? Yeah, just like look at our LinkedIn profiles. So we met at Clear Design. Love them. I had the best years of my life there. Like genuinely, I had some of the best years of my life.
Yeah, for sure.
We met there, like we became friends. We became like best friends as well with like 2 other girls there. And we actually met up 2 days ago doing it. I'm actually getting a bit emotional talking about it. I had such a good time there. Met my husband there. But we had like really good foundation, didn't we? Of like marketing. We like worked with really good people. I had like a really good foundation of SEO, and like Russell taught me then. He had a good approach, didn't he? Like he wasn't about like keying stuff in and like black hat tactics. He was kind of really about doing it like integrally. So that kind of set the foundations, I think, of all of that. So yeah, we had a really good skill set, and we had a really good mindset and approach, I think. And then what we did, so we were project managers, which means like we knew kind of a little bit about everything, didn't we? But like we weren't an expert in anything. And while I was in the agency, I can remember craving like wanting a specialist. I should have told them, in hindsight, I should have told them that, and I would have got it. But I really wanted to like specialize in something. And afterwards, I was getting the itch like towards the end, and then I left to cycle around the world anyway. Yeah, so I just chose SEO because obviously I love content and writing. And then you kind of chose pay-per-click, and we both kind of went in these 2 different directions, didn't we? Where we just really narrowed into like one particular marketing tactic. But I will say Leigh is a really good T-shaped marketer generally. Like I'm nowhere near as T-shaped as what you are, but your main expertise is the one thing, pay-per-click, isn't it?
It was such an exciting time, and I just remember like for me I was earning good money, and like when I started to realize like the money I was earning outside of like my full-time job. And I think we had like, you came round for one evening, didn't you? And we sat down and we was like, look, we've both got a really good skill set, both separate. Like we can work mutually on clients and not tread on each other's toes.
So I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about that night. But yeah, definitely.
Tonight, right? So anyway, we're sat there. I think we've cracked open a bottle of red wine, and we're just like,
no, cracked open 2 bottles of red wine.
It was 2 bottles in the end. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just like working. I think we're doing this crowd actually that you just mentioned.
No, we were. I know exactly what we were doing. We were planning for a client, doing a strategy.
Was it the other agency in Shrewsbury? Was it that one?
No, it wasn't an agency. It was we were doing for the first client we got together, where you did the ads, $40.
Yes. Yeah.
It was their strategy, and we were really getting into it.
I think it helps that me and Zoe are very similar in terms of like work ethic, but like humor, and just when we get excited, it's fun. So anyway, we're having 2 bottles of wine, and I think we just went, fuck it, should we just make a name for ourselves? And we went back and forth, didn't we? And we were like, I think we're quite honest people, or very frank people, I suppose. And this is how the name came about, Forank. But we couldn't call ourselves Frank because there's a drug charity in the UK called Frank. So we couldn't call ourselves Frank Marketing.
Like a drug helpline. I would have loved to have called ourselves as Frank Marketing though.
I think that's what we wanted, but we were so stuck on this, and bearing in mind we're 2 bottles deep, we were like, well, we'll just make another one. So then this came as like Forank, and then it was like, oh yeah, ranking, SEO, ranking, PPC. And it's such a silly name. And then we were like, oh, logo, what should we do?
Yeah, but it's silly. But Leigh, in that moment, I still love it now, but like we thought that was the best thing ever. Yeah.
Then I remember, and that's one thing we did learn from Clear, right, is to make sure you translate any new words that you create, and to make sure they don't like translate into something stupid in another language. So we were going on Google Translate. Okay, nothing came up. And then we both went, that's when the logo came alive. We looked at the Google Translate. We looked at the Google Translate like typography.
We were like, that font's lovely.
We were like, oh, that's a lovely font. I don't know why, Zoe, was my dad there at that point as well? My dad was in the room.
No, I know exactly what you're thinking about. You're mixing 2 different nights, because I can remember the night when your dad was there.
And we were like, oh my God, this name, this typography, like we're going to take over the world. Like, this is how delusional we were. And I think to some extent you have to be a little bit delusional.
Absolutely delusional.
Isn't it still the same typography? It is, isn't it? Hasn't changed.
Yeah, at the minute it's gonna go through a change, and we will be looking more professional, and we're gonna add like context to Frank, but we'll get to that another day.
This is anyway. I think just going back to it, I think if you could take one thing out of it, is be delusional as hell and freelancing, because look at us now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you kind of have to be. I mean, in the early days as well, like, so when I say we took this crow wars, like, don't get me wrong, like Leigh and I were more than capable of doing that, 100%, especially Leigh. Like we'd been working with really good design. This is why we were lucky. We'd been working in project management across a range of things. We spoke with, so the design team there is so good at Clear. So we'd learned loads. So we took on this, and one thing we're good at is data as well. So we can always support things with data. We both always love that. Anyways, we took this project, but it talking about being delusional. We were capable, but I think at that time, I certainly didn't feel capable. Like we were like clinging on to each other, weren't we, for like emotional support. I only felt okay because you were there.
Same.
You were more confident than me, I think, but to some degree, I think, well, you looked it to me and I needed it. You probably only took it because I was there.
How much was it? Was it 2.5?
No, it was less than that, I think. I think it might have been just like $1,000.
I even so at that point, I was like, oh my God, like we're going to let's split this. Like this is easy money. Yeah. And we had a laugh doing it.
By the time we paid tax, and we had a great time, and we love stuff like that. We probably made about £300.
Probably, yeah.
In like half a day or something, because we would have been able to get through that task quite quickly. Yes, but that was mega money. I can remember like pinching myself, oh my God, and to do that in a day is like...
It was.
And that's still mega, I still think that's mega money to do that in a day, you know, like, yeah, absolutely, that's amazing. And yeah, it was our first project rate project. We weren't billing hourly. It was the first time we'd done that.
Yeah.
And we were billing on value. Yeah.
Jeez, that takes me back, man.
It was really fun, wasn't it?
It was fun. And even like at AS Marketing, like, so that was great. We met some great people through that, and it was a really good setup of a model, and it really well. Like Adriana was getting contracts, like they were insane prices, and it was the first time I think I joined there at like €65, and I was like, fuck.
Mega.
€65 an hour, and that allowed me, and I'll always be grateful for you for introducing to AS Marketing, like Adriana, because that allowed me to get out of such a shit time in my life. I managed to squirrel away so much money to be like, I can leave now. Freelancer would never have allowed me. I would still be in that situation.
No, you was 100%. It really got you out, didn't it? And this is the thing, like people say money can't buy happiness. I'm like, well, no, maybe not, but fuck, it can buy, it can buy that, can't it? And it did.
Yeah.
Got you.
It did.
Yeah.
I think I remember the first month I'd ever made like £4,000. Maybe less than that, maybe 3,000. Where I was like, wow, like I'm less stressed, less meetings. I'm doing a job I really enjoy. And I was like, wow, this is insane. It was just a kind of a surreal feeling, and I have to kind of pinch myself and humble myself to know where I am now, because like back then, and I've always been grateful, and I think you're the same. We've always been really grateful for every opportunity we get, because it puts food in our fridge, a roof over our heads.
Yeah, even now, isn't it? We're like that.
And don't get me wrong, there's times where you're like, shit, is this going to all end? I think we've spoken quite honestly, like you lose a client and you're like, oh my God, is this going to end now? I'm going to have to go get another job and blah, blah, blah. But I think we're both very much in that mindset of like, things are supposed to happen the way they're supposed to happen. And we are good at our job. And I will say that. So I think we'll always be okay. Because we've got that fire and the passion, haven't we?
Yeah. And we're not going to like, and do you know what as well? You're talking about like being grateful for work and stuff. We are never going to think we're above a job. Like, if it all fell apart tomorrow, I'm just going to go back to Sainsbury's and I'm going to walk in there absolutely fine. Just being like, this is just my chapter now. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, because at the start of this year, I lost 2 really big clients, didn't I?
Yeah.
At the same time, it was very unfortunate. And I remember reaching out to people in the industry, like, hey, have you got any full-time work? Because if I don't get anything within the next 2 months, like I've got to get full-time work. And I was happy to do so. It wasn't an issue. It was completely fine.
No. Yeah. That's it about things working out, isn't it? There was, I think in the 5 years between the two of us, there's only ever been one time where I thought, oh, it might actually fall apart here.
Yeah, me too.
And it felt close, didn't it? but something came along literally like within the week where it was like crunch time.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because it's like one thing like goes out the door and you're like, oh my God. And then it's just like something just comes in and it's great. And you're like, wow, okay, perfect. What was I stressing about?
Cool. So I was thinking, so all of that's really positive. And like for the most part, I think we've had quite an easy run with it. But I think one of the reasons why saying that, you didn't have an easy run doing 80, 90 hours a month, sorry. That's not easy, is it? When you did that transition period of working at your one job and then coming in.
No, it's not easy. But I think when I look back on it, I was like, that was necessary. Like, it's not easy, but it was necessary to do.
I think it's quite important to highlight stuff like that, though.
But I've got a child, haven't I? So my circumstances are slightly different to yours in the fact that, like, I need to make sure, like, I've got stability. So that was a choice that I made. And that was fine. I wouldn't have done it differently, not a chance.
Well, I think what's nice, though, is there's two different journeys in some ways. Like my journey to begin with it was really low risk. The stakes were low. Because we were traveling, like I said, I only needed £10 or $10. That's the first thing. Then the second thing was when we got home, I worked at Sainsbury's, but because our trip got cancelled, we had like a lump sum of money in the bank for that trip, which does provide some security. So I could kind of freelance like that. But then it's not to say it was easy though, because it's not easy. But I think because we just talked about that so passionately and so like, in hindsight, looking back on so much fun, like Leigh was grinding. You were grinding for a time, like 90 hours a month and looking after a child. That's insane.
Sorry, that was a week, wasn't it? Not a month, a week.
Oh, 90 a week. Oh my God. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it would be. Of course it would be.
Yeah, mate. I had like a full-time job and then a full-time job on top. I remember working I'd come home from the office at 5 and I'd be working till like 11, 12 at night.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just important to say, isn't it? And having a child as well, like you were busy. And during that period of COVID when I started, just around about when Leigh came in a bit before, I didn't go out. And I know no one was going out, but I wasn't doing anything but working. I was at my desk for 16 hours, literally a day. And that is no exaggeration. Although we're talking about it really nicely, like it wasn't hard work, but we loved it, didn't we? Like it didn't feel like hard work, but like it was hard work. That's hard.
No, and I think there's that saying, though, isn't it? If you do your job you love, you never work a day in your life. And I'm very fortunate, but I love my job.
Yeah, same, to be honest.
It's hard in the sense that you're sat there, but I enjoy it. So it's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I thought we'd talk about like some of the challenges, like common challenges that freelancers take, and we'll just discuss them a little bit because some of these are still challenges for me. So
I'm looking at the list and I'm like, yeah,
we could probably write loads. We might come across more as we go as well. So taking holidays, Leigh, how many days a year or weeks a year do you take laptop free, like work free? Work isn't even like a thought in your mind. How many?
2 weeks over Christmas, but that's not entirely true because I will do like a admin check-in and get me geared up for January. In fact, I do struggle with that, and that's one thing to consider is I can count on my hand twice in the last 4 years I've gone on holiday without a laptop, and that was probably for 3 days maximum, like each time.
Yeah, so basically the same. I think. So Stu and I like pop off quite a bit. Like we'll go off to Spain, but we'll take the laptop. So we're on like what someone actually wrote this on my LinkedIn, called it like a workation, which I really liked. So we do a lot of that, but that doesn't mean that you're unwinding. And I reckon this year, Stu and I have had probably a max of like 1 week off, and that's still got like a little bit disrupted, but not in a big way. 1 week off, and that's it. Fully off, and then like you, we'll steal about 3 days every now and again.
Yeah, I think the difficulty being is, I guess when you're freelancing, especially as just you don't have that person to hand over to. So I think there's one, I would hate to ever like have a client leave in a lurch or whatever with anything, and I'm always there available if anything's urgent needed. I think that's a big part of it. It has been something I've struggled with, but at the same time, I've been able to take my son to America. I just work around doing that, and that's fine because I still feel like I get the R&D, but no, the R&R, sorry. But
Research and development.
Research and development. The R&R. But like that's a decision I've made. Like, and I'm not saying like that's the right way to do it. I think, yeah, I need to get better at it, but it's a risk. You don't get those 28 days off and bank holidays, I suppose.
No, you don't. And I think even if you do it, you are thinking about it, because unless you can fully hand over your job to someone for a few days, I think it's hard just to completely shut off. So that's one of like the downsides of freelancing, I think. Although I think it's getting better for us, and we have had these ideas in the past, haven't we? Well, we'll like hand over our clients to each other so that we could filter through the noise and like see what's actually an issue and what is not. When mostly there's not that much that really happens. Like,
it is funny though, because this is our situation. I don't think any of our clients would care if we just left untouched for a week. I don't have any client that would be like, I haven't heard from you. I'd be like, I'm going on holiday. They're like, yeah, cool, see you when you're back.
Yeah, of course. 100. They'd be absolutely fine. It's us.
It's us. It is.
Yeah. No, none of our clients, especially because with us as well, we just know we would plan the work. We'd get it organised for that week off. So it was running without us for a week. And then, but yeah, it's totally us. It really is. I'm making it a 2026 goal, I think, is to take
I like that.
a week a quarter. That's what anyone in work does. Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
And even like when you think about it, when you work, you have to take your holidays because businesses rarely will pay you for them. So you just take a week off, don't you? And you like clean the house and like, do you know what I mean? You just have a week off, decorate something, or I think I'm going to try and do that.
Yeah, I think the struggle with me would be not being able to take my emotional laptop.
Emotional support laptop.
I think that'd be my biggest thing. But well, maybe that's a goal. Maybe, yeah, like that.
Yeah. So getting work. So we talked about how we got work in the early days, which was, for me, it was all at work. I pitched for work, got work. Don't let anyone tell you there's not good work on at work. Just don't. The only thing I can say as a tip is like, I don't know why people get so like, oh, there's jobs for $5. It's a race to the bottom. And I think, well, if you don't want to work for $5, don't apply for the job. Don't shut down Upwork because there's a job for $5. Like, just don't apply for it. What's the problem? Then just go and filter the ones that are like $50 and apply for those. I've never understood that. And also though, I worked for $10. I saw a job for $10 and I was like, yes, mate. Get me $10. I was happy. So, and you've got to you have to build some reputation on the platform. So if it means doing some lower paid jobs, just do it. Pick the ones you like and do it. Or don't and go for the high jobs. So my brother started at work. He didn't start at a low rate. He started at $50 as a developer and got work for $50. Good work. Yeah. So Upwork, great. And then once I was into Upwork, that's when I started going onto LinkedIn and doing personal branding, all inbound. I just posted passionately about what I do and the work came to me. And then word of mouth. What about you, Leigh?
I probably you better on Upwork. I think I've only had one single person maybe offer myself on Upwork. I have been fortunate enough to know you and you've got me into places. I have been very lucky in the fact that, I think networking and being very personable has got me very far. So, yeah, again, LinkedIn networking. I remember I was subcontracting for an agency up north in Lancaster. Absolutely love the guys, but they actually slipped. Hey, I see you do PPC. I have a client who sells lingerie. Are you interested in a call? And I was like, is this spam? And that's how we met. But it's fun. It's funny because I then worked with them for 2 to 3 years, and they've got me work. I've met so many people through that, and now people will just recommend. I think Kyle, our friend Kyle Rushton, he's recommended people. So I think I'm very lucky in the fact that I haven't actually had to probably really go out and get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. No, it does make sense, definitely. But so it's been a lot of networking and referral. I don't know what it is with Leigh, but Leigh gets job. You get jobs somehow. When you say dropped inside into your DMs, was it LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. You do well on social though.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've had leads on TikTok and everything.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we got that one lead coming. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Yeah, but That was really good. I don't know. I'm saying this. I feel like I've been very lucky, and I'm not saying this will happen with everyone. I think I've been extremely lucky with the people I've met. I think the biggest thing for me is making connections and being first and foremost a decent person that people want to
Yeah.
recommend you to.
Yeah, it's not luck, actually. It's not luck at all. I mean, yeah, maybe a smidge of luck that I started first, but like I said, I wouldn't have carried on. I wouldn't have continued it if it wasn't for you. Like, you are really tied into the foundations of building it all. But it's not actually luck. It's actually what you just said then. It's like being a really like charismatic person. Like, people want to hire you, they want to talk to you. You know a lot about marketing, so you're like a really high value person. So like, yeah, you're hired for PPC, but you can consult on loads more staff. So you're you're a really good investment, basically. So yeah, to that point of like getting work, is you need to be able to prove all of that type of thing, don't you? Like, don't send a half-assed pitch on Upwork. Put 100% into it. Like I've always said to people, apply less, but apply meaningfully. So don't scattergun 50 jobs, find 5
Well,
and spend 3 hours on the proposal, isn't it? And, you know, that's kind of what you've done though, really. You've a bit of networking more so.
yeah, because I think I remember when Tris slid into my DMs on LinkedIn, and it sounds really crash, but it's just funny. If he's listening to this, he'll laugh about it. And I remember I just had a conversation, and we spoke, nothing came of it, and then he was like, "Oh, I'd really like you to work on this project," and I was like, "Oh, I'm in America at the moment. Can you can we arrange a call?" And he was like, "Yeah, cool." Anyway, it was Labor Day weekend in America. So we'd had this huge party the night before. I completely forgot about the meeting, right? My alarm went off, and I looked at my phone. He was like, "Are you joining?" And I was like, "Oh no." So I literally opened up the camera. I'm sat outside. There's a pool in the background. I am hungover. And I went, "I'm so sorry." I said, "I can't even lie to you." I said, "I am hungover. I forgot. I partied last night." And that brutal honesty, he loved it. And he's very funny. And that's how I got the job, because he was like, "Because you're honest." I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah. Yeah. It does. People can tell, I think, when you're not completely integral. And that's why we chose Forank, though, isn't it? Because we are like that. Like, we're just going to be honest about it. We're both very like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the takeaway for getting work is to prove that you've got skills. And there is a little bit of fake it till you make it, I think. Like, we did that in our early days, but I say fake it, we did have the skills. We were just a bit like underconfident in ourselves, I guess. Have you ever had a getting paid issue? Have you ever had someone who's not paid you?
You know what? No, I've been very blessed. I don't have. I mean, you get the odd late payer.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't so much matter now, being a bit more established, and I've got multiple revenue income. But I haven't. Everyone I've worked with always paid really well.
Yeah,
You?
for the most part, I've not had any problems. Like you said, like you, I've got the odd client where I think, "Oh, come on now, pay your blimmin' bill, like a bit late." But then they always pay. Yeah. And I'm pretty chill about a late pay, actually, because of the way I manage the money coming in and out. So there's always a pot in annual the same, aren't you? There's always a pot in the accounts, even before we were limited, where there was like a buffer of money. So like I could take out of that pot, then the pot got replenished, rather than it being like my mortgage payment or my rent payment at the time.
Agree.
So you can manage your finances to basically make late payers a non-issue. And then I would say like 80% of our bills come on time. I would say about 10% are the odd late month. And I've got one client who's a bit of a pain in the bum. I have to chase them every single month. But they do always pay. They're just a bit rubbish in finance. I have had one client who didn't pay a bill and then didn't pay a bill for months and months and months. And I did have to threaten court on them. But once that happened, they just paid. It wasn't a lot of money. It was a lot of money then. It was probably like, I don't know, 200 quid a month or something for like 3 months that kind of stacked up. But for the most part, fine. But you say like, "Oh, we're very blessed." I don't think it is actually just we got lucky. I think it's that we worked in agencies. We knew how to like handle invoicing. You don't start the work till you get paid. Because if you remember it clear, it was like, we're going to get paid and then we're going to start, wasn't it? Like you wouldn't start your website till the 50% deposit was paid. I think I learned that from there. But I think we're quite assertive as well. We don't really, and that's just our personality, I guess.
I think as well, that's a good point you made, is like, I know it's very difficult if you're thinking about starting out, is to build a pot of money. Like, so everything you earn, just be mindful that like you may earn less next month. So if you need a set figure to live off that for the time being. Anything additional, just keep it aside, because if you have a shit month, you've got that like buffer.
Yeah, I could totally agree. Like a month of expenses squirreled away somewhere at least, and then build that up to 6 months. I've got a year now, so if I could be off work, me and Stu could be off work for 1 year, and that just sits in a pot and it doesn't do anything.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 6 months is fine. I think I'm a little bit extra paranoid, to be honest.
You've got 2 people though, haven't you?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true, actually. Okay, so mindset, resting from work. So when I say like switching off from work, because I struggled with this for years, like really badly, and I think it's not been good at all for me, managing to switch off. So like I said, in the early days, Leigh was working 80, 90 hours a week. I was working 16 hours a day, whatever that is in a week. And I probably was working the Saturday and Sunday as well, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm probably doing 80, 90 hours a week as well, actually. I didn't really realise that. So we both absolutely working hours and hours. I never switched off during that time. I would wake up in the morning and I would literally wake up and I would be drafting emails. I would wake up to that thought, and it used to make me so angry because I'd be like, I don't want to think about writing emails, but I was obviously like just overstimulated from working so much. Where are you at with that now? Because I'm in the best place I've ever been for that. Like I can switch off with an evening. I can close the laptop at 5 and relax with the telly and stuff.
I can now, for sure. I still have emails on my phone.
Do you?
I don't have all my mailboxes, so I work for various people. I don't have all my mailboxes on I have R1, don't have anything else. And I think for me, it's not, I don't like to be like surprised when I come to work the next day. So even if I'm not doing anything with it, I know what that's about. I am loads better now though, and I will, if I finish at 4, like I'm uncontactable. Unless it's urgent, and that's why I will have like the one mailbox. I had an urgent thing this week with a client in the US. Love them to pieces. They are really a lovely client, and I was like, I'm happy to help out. It's not a problem. But again, that's my choice. I'm better now, I think, with switching off.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm surprised your emails are on your phone.
Only the Forank ones.
Is it? Do you like have it live all the time? So it's just like it's in your inboxes, or do you toggle it on and off in the settings?
I have it like when if I'm in work mode, I get notifications outside of the you can have like the focuses on your phone.
Yeah.
I don't get the notifications, so it's my choice to look at it.
Yeah, fair enough. See, I couldn't do that. That's fine if it works though. For me, if I see a work email outside of work hours, my anxiety just absolutely spikes. Like I literally feel it in my chest. Like it's really bad. So I didn't have emails on my phone, or they are there, but they're switched off the mail app.
Right, yeah.
Because I will go and look at them. But that means like if I do, like, let's say we go to a conference or something, and I can toggle them on for like a work day on the go, if that makes sense. But yeah, different strokes for different folks. If it works for you, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah, no, it wouldn't be good for me.
This is only, I guess, for both of us, been in probably the last year.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think because we've got to a point that we are secure with clients to stable. Yeah, the first 3 years, I would never switch off, honestly.
Yeah, same. It was intense, wasn't it? And I actually don't think I've got that level of intensity in me now. Like, I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but like being like 5 years older than when I started, honestly, I don't know how I did it.
Agree.
But I did love it. I loved it. I absolutely had so much energy for it. I mean, I cycled halfway around the world and made 6 figures because I was just cycling and then working. I just loved it. So a little bit related to mindset and switching off is like fear of it falling apart. Where are you at with that now, Leigh?
I think January was huge for me. That was touch and go. Luckily, someone came in, which has been great, and I've been working with them since.
Yeah, really good.
But I think I've got to a stage now, and then there's a question actually we talk about this. Is like I've got to a stage now. If I lose one client, I'm still fine. I've got to that point now. So that does take a lot to build up. But yeah. I'm okay. It's not, and then now it's my choice to be like, actually, I don't want to take on any more work. So
Yeah,
what about you?
definitely. It's pretty much the same, to be honest. I think, yeah, I do still like sometimes have the odd like fear of like, oh, what if I lose a client? But like you said, if I could probably lose maybe as many as like 2 or 3 and still be able to make the bills. But yeah, I'd have to make some big lifestyle adjustments. Like I'm not going to be going on pickleball holidays. I'm not going to be playing pickleball as much, but the bills are going to be paid. So probably 2 or 3 clients for that. And so I guess the tip with that is like to get retainers, isn't it? So we have like, how many retainers have I got? Between me and Stuart, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 retainers. So that's like regular income coming in. Yeah. What, you're looking confused? We've all got the same, I reckon.
No, I was just trying to figure out who I'm working with. Yeah, probably about 6 retainers. Yeah. We do like we don't really tend to do like one-off jobs. Like it's not ideal. Like I do it now and again, but like the one-off jobs would give me more anxiety, being like, when's the next one-off thing coming in?
Yeah, if all of my work was one-off jobs, I actually don't know if I could cope with that mentally.
No. So I think there's a huge difference with freelancing is like picking that model, what you're wanting to do.
Yeah. And you can do that in almost any like freelancing job. Like if you're a writer, you can like try and agree set pieces. I try and agree set pieces and I slightly reduce I do like a rate per piece of content now. But if you give me 5, like you'll save like $50 to $100 per piece or something like that to like encourage a retainer with writing. Similarly, you can do it with like social media, PPC and SEO definitely lend itself well to retainer. Anything really. You just got to think about packages that people need month in, month out in their business. So I think retainers is probably a key part to that. And I think we went very quick on the retainer thing because again, we'd had that agency experience, isn't it? Like we knew how to like package up a retainer. Just going back to this agency thing. So I think one of the reasons why we've been successful freelancers is because we did some work. You did in-house. I did a little bit of in-house and within agencies for years before. So we had such a strong foundation like business and how it operates and what client management looks like and like, you know, how to manage like payments with deposits and stuff. So I think there was a really big, like a bit of a privilege there, I suppose. Like it's not the right word, but
no, but it is because I think those soft skills that we've learned that even on the project management side has gone really far. Client management, boundary management.
Oh my goodness, massive.
Those soft skills, I would never recommend someone to go freelancing who has not been in a client facing role, to be honest.
Agree.
Because you are the person, like you're not the person just doing the job. You are the person that needs to execute it. You're the person who has to talk about it. You know, you've got to be a personable person. If you don't have those soft skills, I don't think freelancing would work for you. Honestly,
I completely agree. I think that's kind of like things I like to talk about in freelancing because it's like I think a lot of people like just go freelance. It's like, well, if you're like a mardy person who can't get on, who can't admit they're wrong, or you know, who isn't a team player, you are not going to succeed. And like you've got to learn those skills. So yeah, I would say like if you're like, especially if you're quite young, so if you're like less than like 21, I would say go and get your feet under and get into an agency or something, get into like an account management role or any role really, bit of client facing work. Even if you just do it for 1 year, you'll just set some foundations and it'll take you like what you could learn in a year in like say an agency, if you're in like digital marketing, it will take you 6 years to do it on your own, I think. So you'll just fast track your freelancing career anyway. That would be my advice.
yeah.
So what has freelancing done for us? Like we could go like personally and professionally on this.
Personally, I think for me, it's the confidence. I think personally, I am no longer that quivering little anxious girl who would be scared to talk to like CEOs. That's who I want to be talking to now. Like I want to talk to the leaders of businesses, and I feel like that confidence level that I have now has only really come from freelancing, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm surprised. Do you know why I'm surprised? Because when we worked at Clear, I just thought you were so fucking cool. Can you remember that? I still think you're cool. But can you remember you'd come from like, was it O2?
Oh, that was the Bauer Media internship I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like she's worked with O2. And like Leigh is really good at like, you can get to grips with like software, like fast, mate. Like data analytical tools, like even as like a CMS, like you were just so good. I just remember being like, oh my God, she's so good. And I always thought you were good at just overall. So like, it's weird to me for you to say that it was the freelance that brought the confidence. I mean, I do believe that you've got more confident, but to me, your baseline of confidence was always really good. At least that's what you look like to me.
It's a fake it till you make it, isn't it? I always think like, I always had this mindset as well. Like if you are talking about something, you know so much more than that other person you're talking to about. So even if you're not quite accurate, people aren't going to question it normally.
Yeah. And you can always, if you don't know, there's great power in saying, I just don't know.
I don't know. I'll go and have a look.
Going back to being honest, I'm going to find out for you though, because I'm intrigued and I'll email you later.
Yeah, other milestones then. I was able to buy a house, which I know is one of yours as well, Zoe.
Yeah, we basically like bought our houses, didn't we? I mean, I didn't do it quite as solo as what you did, but it was pretty, because it was my business to begin with. I did it pretty solo. We got the deposit together, which is mental.
Yeah, that would never have happened without this.
Wouldn't have happened 50 years ago, mates, because you would need a man to sign.
I know.
So it's nuts.
And then the other thing was public speaking. And this always goes back to me. I remember you'd introduced me to Toastmasters. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I loved it. I always want to go back there.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to speak at Brighton SEO. It was the scariest, most daunting thing of my life. Would I do it again? Probably not, but I did it.
No, that's amazing. You were so good.
And just like being on webinars and stuff, people asking you to come on webinars and that. And yeah, it's just been amazing. And to be able to talk passionately about what you do is awesome. What about yourself?
Yeah. I must admit, I do think your speaking has got loads better from where we were at Clear, and like your ability to handle a meeting. I think that's been on like a proper up. You were never bad at it at all. Never. But like, I do feel like that's one area where I've really like seen your growth is in like to get on the stage at Brighton's mega, absolutely mega. So I've not done speaking. I really do want to be honest, but I just haven't braved it. But I think for me, other than like I would say like the personal tools like buying the house, having the freedom to travel, I think I've had like really nice like opportunities where like I've been able to like buy something really nice for my family, or like I paid for the Airbnb that me and my siblings stayed in, and we had like a family holiday, just like stuff like that really. Can you remember when we did our first like business plan though, which we meant to do every year? We should do that again. But one of the things we did is we separated like what we want the business to give us in terms of like professionally, like we want to get like 4 retainers paying this, and we want to be able to work part-time or whatever. But a big part of it was like the lifestyle that we wanted, and like, I feel like we've got that. We should actually review that and be like, did we do it?
We need to review that. It's interesting actually, yeah. And being able to the opportunity to be like, you and we're going to America for 3 weeks, like that would never happen. Never.
That would never happen in full-time employment. Who's going to give you 3 weeks off in a row? Hardly anyone, really. And you wouldn't be able to afford it on a paid wage on any of our jobs previous. I think for me, another big thing is kind of similar to the speaking, but it's the writing. So like writing is like when I wrote for the first time in Mars, oh my goodness me, I was just like pinch me.
It is, it's amazing.
Like I cannot believe. Yeah, and you write for Search Engine Land now.
If someone's looking at me, they're coming to me for advice. It's like, it's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and LinkedIn's responsible largely for my writing opportunities. I would say that really got me going. I mean, and Adriana at AS Marketing, she got me the most opportunity. She recommended me, and then from there it grew.
Yeah, you're amazing at writing.
Cool. So where we've gone, Leigh, is from, I would say, freelancer, almost into like, I would say like to consultant, so like slightly more, so freelance, like doing the work, doing the pay-per-click, me doing SEO stuff, writing content, that kind of task, freelancing, then into like consultancy. And I think that is a really important shift, isn't it? To get into that more like consultancy role where you're like providing strategy, your mindset changes a little bit. So you're not just doing work, you're like advising, you might be like negotiating scope with a client, like telling them politely where their ideas aren't great and why yours are the one to go with. I would never communicate something like that to a client. I was really clumsily worded. But now what Leigh and I have is actually like 2 limited companies, which is a little bit unusual. So we trade under the same brand, which is Forank, and we both have separate limited companies, just is what works for us at the minute. And to be honest, I would make Forank limited, but I can't be bothered to pay. I can't be bothered to pay the fees of the accountants for it.
I mean, we've spoke about this in depth, isn't it? We are not we don't pay ourselves I want to say a yearly salary. So it just doesn't make financial sense for us to combine it and also we've got the ability to branch off and do other things as well. So
yeah,
I don't think it ever will make financial sense for us to merge, to be honest. And we haven't had an issue. No one cares.
Absolutely no one cares. They just get an invoice from Leigh and an invoice from me, and literally no one cares. And if they cared, one of us would just invoice and then we would invoice them. So just do what you need to do, don't you? So I guess I don't know why I wrote that, why I brought that up really. I suppose there's an argument to say it doesn't need to make sense if it works. I mean, what we do does make sense to us, but I think if someone looked at our arrangement, they might be like, oh, why don't you just make Forank limited or something? Yeah,
I think, and there's differences in why. We've only both recently been a year limited. For me, I stayed as a sole trader for a long time, purely for the mortgage. If anyone is interested, obviously you have to, I would earn more on paper as a sole trader than I would in a limited company.
That's right. Yeah.
Moving forward to limited make more sense as we, I guess, have grown, and with the expanse of clients is that we are a little bit more protected as a person, whereas a sole trader, you're not. You're fully liable. So that makes more sense on a limited. There's other benefits to it as well and stuff. And that might be another podcast, but that's why personally I did it.
Yeah, same. I mean, if anyone listens to this and you wish we'd discuss something in more detail, just tell us, because we could jump on and do a 20-minute podcast on going limited, couldn't we, or whatever. But yeah, the main reason I went limited is when I bought my house, I was like, I don't want my house to be liable if someone sues me. Not that they should ever do that, but you never know. So yeah, that's pretty much why I went limited. All right, cool. So I think moving swiftly on, because this has been quite a long podcast. So if you want us to dig into anything more, or there's stuff we didn't answer, just tell us, and we'll just do another podcast on this. But okay, so Q&A, because I think we got some quite good ones from LinkedIn. So what is one thing you wish you've known before starting your freelance career?
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm stumped. What's one thing I'd wish I'd known?
I've got one. I mean, I know what I think, so I'll go first if you like. I just wish I had known in my body, because I mean mentally I thought it's possible, but I wish I had known that I could be successful and make money doing it. And if I had known that, I would have done it younger, for sure. I'll tell you what I would have done. If I had known I could make money as a freelancer, I loved working in the agency in clear design. I absolutely loved it. But I would keep myself busy there sometimes for probably 12 hours. And when you do it for someone who's paying you, they don't pay you the overtime. Now, I was never, ever, ever upset about that. I loved it so much, and it was my decision to do it. And in fact, they weren't high pressure there. They never put pressure on us to work over, ever. And in fact, it was the opposite. It was girls, go home. But we just loved it, didn't we? And I loved organising my clients. I would just keep myself busy. But if I had known what I know now, and I would understand the success that you can do if you put some effort into your own thing,
I agree.
I would have spent those hours building my own something on the side, anything, digital products, SEO for clients, writing. I just spent it on myself. I just didn't know that.
I think that's a really good point, because I don't think people realise it's how easy it is to be able to do it. And I think one of the things that I've known is you can make money off anything. If you've got an idea, you can sell it, make money off it.
I completely agree. I so agree. That
didn't seem reachable at the time, because I was like, oh, you've got to have a business and you've got to have this to do it. And
yeah, this is a story that was actually an ex-boyfriend, his mum said to me, because they have a very successful business, but she said she used to bake cookies, and she used to just sell them in the village. And she's like, the thing is, if I had just carried on baking these cookies, I'd probably have a cookie factory by now. So you can, if you just stick at anything for long enough, you can make a business out of it. And I do believe that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the biggest mindset shift that helped you scale from small projects to a sustainable 6-figure business?
I think for me, it would be understanding that I can't do everything. I think that's mine is because I have fortunate enough I subcontract out or have two people that help me out. I have my sister doing admin for me. So she picks up all that because, again, when you're on your own, you're all the hats. So she does that. She helps me out with this podcast as well. And also I have another PPC person that helps me out with some projects. I think the biggest mindset shift is that.
Yeah.
And also being okay to ask for help. Like, shit, I've taken on some work. I can't do it. I need help.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. There's a really, really good book that helps you get there. I don't know if you've read it. I would have told you about it. But it's called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martel. It is so good. And it talks about like basically outsourcing what you just said, the work that doesn't give you energy, like admin. And then you focus on the stuff that you love and what brings in the money, basically. That is a cracking book. I loved it. I should read it again. Mindset shift for me might actually be moving from like freelance to consultant. So freelancer working for like the $40 an hour, which was still amazing, and it really was amazing. Shifting into like consultant, like I'm gonna create you a strategy, and that's gonna be like $2,500 rather than $40 an hour. And in this, that $2,500 is gonna be earned in, I don't know, 15 hours or something, whatever it is. That was probably the big shift for me. But you have to have the process, the systems. You have to be able to like create something that's like a project and a deliverable. And then you've got to be able to own the recommendations that you're providing and support them. And just kind of have the confidence with the client. I don't really know how you get that with experience, I guess, just like practice and reaching a little bit. We reached for years, I think, Leigh. We were always, we can do 80% of this job comfortably and we're reaching for 20%, but we always just figured it out. Is that fair?
I think so, yeah. Another mindset shift actually is retainers. I think people get so hung up on hourly. Like, I've worked so many hours and I'm like, if you provided the value for that month, you could have overworked 20 hours, you could underwork 20 hours. Getting out that mindset shift. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I don't know if you think we can answer this or not. So I put it in anyway to see what you think. So what is the best advice you would give to someone who is considering starting their own SEO or marketing agency? What do you wish someone had told you at the beginning? So less about starting the freelancing, but more into like agency.
I think for me, it would be maybe understanding like your business model. I think if I was to start a marketing agency now, I would not employ people.
No, freelancers and contractors.
Freelancers. Because, yeah, I've seen so many times you get really bad staff, you can't get rid of them, or you've got to pay sick pay, all of these things. You've got so many things you need to consider when you employ people. And then also you've got that on your head, like, shit, have I got enough money to pay for someone's lifestyle?
I couldn't handle it.
I could not have that on my shoulders.
I think that's why I wasn't sure if we were qualified. No, I couldn't. I think because where I describe us as like, we kind of sit somewhere in the middle, don't we? Like consultancy and agency, because we're not hiring loads of people. We do have like a little bit of support. So we're agency in respect of like, there are, I don't know, like multiple team members. Like I suppose we're a team of like between 3 and 6, depending on the project. But we're not like a full-blown marketing agency, are we? In the sense that, I don't know, like Cleo or something. Like, we're nothing like that.
I could not go to bed having that on my head, being like, have I got enough money to pay the wages?
I couldn't barely go to bed thinking about my wages, let alone everyone else's.
Fuck that. Exactly. I don't know if that was a good advice or not.
No, I think it was a good reply. And I think what I wish someone had told me, and I would have done it anyway, because we did try to scale at one point, and I was like hiring more freelancers and getting like not necessarily bigger projects, but like broader projects. It's so hard to find really good people, because like you're constantly what I want is like the 1% of the population who are like really intuitive, really like able to work on their own, can figure out a solution, don't need like hand holding, and those people are quite hard to find.
Really hard.
And I think I didn't realise at all how hard that would be. And I just don't really have the tolerance for like a work ethic that's anything less than that, which means that doesn't make me a very good boss, to be honest, because my expectations are far too high. So I kind of just gave up on the idea of scaling into anything bigger. Like, I like what we offer now. I mean, I would never say never. Maybe it will happen, but it's not our goal.
Yeah. But we flaunted this idea when we go back and do like our business check-ins. And it's like, one point we're like, yeah, we're going to scale it. And then we were like, oh, actually, I quite like my lifestyle now. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah. And we do like our jobs, don't we? Like, as much as I'm saying get away from the tasks, we both enjoy doing our jobs. And if we were to like scale an agency, we're going to have to step out of that, become like a quality person, become like a HR person. I don't want that. I want to just do my job.
Agree.
And we're just very honest about that. When people ask us, if we like, you know, we just tell people what we do, who we are, and how we do it. Someone says, I've noticed scaling often requires saying no more often. What did you start saying no to once you hit a steady 6 figures? I probably started saying no before that. I mean, when I was making 60 grand, I was like, oh, fuck, like, I've made it. I still think that now.
I think I was later. So I think I made 90 grand 1 year, and I've only this year started saying no. And funny enough, I caught myself doing it the other day. I had someone I've worked with before was like, oh, can you help with this project? Like, I need some PPC strategy on it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I hadn't met with her and I was like, yeah, you know what? And then it got to me and I thought, Leigh, I genuinely don't have time to do it. So I've recommended it to a friend, but I think mine probably when I hit 90 and I was like, okay, I'm okay now. Still do the odd bit. I don't know. It has to align really with me. Like, if it's something really meaty and chunky I can get my teeth into, I will be like, yeah, I'll do it. But something that's a bit like on the side, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want it.
Yeah, like sometimes we'll like let's say a lead comes in and I'll send it to you and it'll be like, I don't know, I can't think of an example because there's not much that we wouldn't touch, but I'll just say, I don't think this is for us. Like the business isn't quite right for us. And no, not personally, like just like the topic of it.
You know what? A client in Telford, I don't know if we're allowed to say their name.
I love them.
That was a project I should have said no to. I should have said no to it because I did not have the time. However, when we spent that first meeting with them, I was like, this is our ideal client. Like, this is it. This is the guys I want to be working with. And I made sacrifices to be able to do that because I went, these guys get me hyped and they get me loving doing it again.
We love them, don't we?
Yeah.
They're absolutely solid. So there we go. So sometimes saying yes when you should be saying no pays off. But then I suppose you wouldn't have said yes if you didn't get that vibe in the meeting.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't have.
So yeah, so you save your yeses for those moments where it's like fuck yes. So like I would say no to like a Magento website now. So like we do have some parameters, don't we? So my fuck yeses are like WordPress, B2B, and then probably like a team who I'm really vibing with, a team who was like going to meet us halfway. So when I say, oh, we need this content, they're going to get it for me.
A team that sees value as well.
Yeah, and then it's basically no to everything else. So it's actually easier. That's it. It's easier to find out what you're going to say yes to and then say no to everything else.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So find whatever your yeses are. And do you know who taught me that? It was we did that after I spoke with Student Forbes. Absolutely loved the way. We were going to have like a meeting with him. We should do it. So he's really good to talk to. But yeah, he was asking me like, what's your like criteria for a client? Because sometimes he gets leads he doesn't want, and he doesn't really do. I think he doesn't want e-commerce. He doesn't really do B2B, and that helped me decide that. So yeah, find out what your yes is, and then say no to everything else. Oh, I love this. What's the single lesson from your first project that still guides your work today? I don't know about first project, but I could probably come up with like an early project. I think it's a really good question.
Then maybe you need to go first and then it'll spark me.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I probably from one of my very, very early projects, which is when I didn't get paid. So that client had actually paid me like clockwork for like a year, maybe more than a year. So when they didn't pay me for that 1 month, I didn't really worry about it. And I worked a second month. And then he didn't pay me for the second month and I worked a third month. So 3 months of invoices had stacked up because they'd always paid me on time, always. I wasn't really worried about it. Well, I think a lesson now is like I'm not working until I get paid. So if I do like a power hour, which is like not really an hour because I do the research before, like I would never start the research until they've paid me. So something like that's stuck with me quite a lot. I'll tell you what else. I can remember having a client for a long, long time. I probably was with them for 2 to 4 years. Loved them. Was e-commerce client. And I went through like a bit of, my family had some problems and I was really like, I wasn't very engaged. And I thought I was getting away with it. But then one day they actually rang me. So they had I don't give out my telephone number, but they had my telephone number. And they were just like, Zoe, like, where are you? Like, we feel like you're not really like engaged. Like, what's going on? And I think from that, the single lesson there is that like a good client will actually look after you. So even though I wasn't very engaged, we had like a really like a bit of a heart to heart on the situation, and I was apologized for not being as engaged and stuff, and kind of turned it around in the next week or whatever. But yeah, like a good client, so like they're worth their salt, aren't they? They really are.
Absolutely.
Don't work with dickheads.
Absolutely, because I think I've made friends safely. I can say I've made friends through clients.
Oh, 100% you have, yeah.
Single lesson for your first. I think boundaries. I think, to be honest, I don't know, maybe not the first, but maybe definitely the start of my freelance, and I would do anything. If someone said how high, I'd be like, yeah, do it. I'd drop everything. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. And what I found that does, you end up being like this headless chicken. You're doing 25 tasks and you haven't completed nothing. So
yeah,
for me, it's like, okay, if someone asks for a request, it's like, that's fine. That gets dealt with tomorrow. Like if it comes in today, I've already got my set task list. So that comes in tomorrow. Obviously, this differs dependent on this or on whatever.
Yeah, like if it's like a genuine emergency. Yeah.
But that's probably, and I'm also in the mindset of now of like, I don't do heart surgery. Like nothing is that urgent really in our line of work. So
no, it's really not.
If a client sends in, and I don't want to work with clients like that. So that's probably the biggest kind of lesson takeaway.
That's a good one, boundaries.
I was like a golden retriever, I guess.
Yeah, you have to say no to hard ones sometimes. Like I had a client, I worked with them for about 2 years. I loved them, and like we got on so well, and I still love them. But they had like a budget issue, so they were like, we need to pause the services for like 3 months and then like come back. So they paused for 3 months, so then they wanted me to come back, but they wanted me to come back at a lower rate, and obviously I would have adjusted the scope accordingly. But that client, as lovely as they are, were like frantic. Like it was quite like high stress. So in the end, I actually just said no to that, and that was hard. But ultimately, like I felt better for saying, I do miss them sometimes, and I'm still in their Slack and I have a look at what's going on. I'm like, oh, I hope they're all okay.
Yeah.
But I had to say no because it was just munching into my life to such a degree. And that's kind of a boundary thing, isn't it? Like knowing what's good for you.
Those clients, they're just not for me. I can't be dealing with scatty people. I like to work with organised people where there's a plan and to follow. Obviously, you have to pivot sometimes, but when it's constant emails or just not even having the time to, like, if they're not giving you the respect to actually write an email and they're writing it off their phone because something's popped into their head, like, I don't want to work with people like that.
Oh, literally. No. Does freelancing give you job security?
I would say yes.
I would say yes as well.
And the reason I say this is because we spoke about this earlier, but like I'm at a stage now where like if I lost 1 to 2 clients, I'd still be fine. I think it's more secure than a job potentially.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. As long as you've got like retained clients, I think it's more secure than a job because you can only, if you have one job and you lose one job, you've got no job.
And the job market is gash as well.
Whereas we can lose, I think I think I said 3. I think I could probably lose 3 clients and be able to pay my bills, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would then only work part-time and it'd be great.
Yeah. You'd have to just go and do 3 things.
But I think it does. Again, I'm talking to this. Me and Zoe are like 4 to 5 years into this journey. If you're starting out, I think I'd just be mindful of like making sure you've got that buffer set up.
Yeah, buffer, big time. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. So that, I think, is all of our questions. Is there nothing else you want to cover, Leigh? I feel like we've done quite good coverage of everything.
I think so. I've just loved it, mate.
Oh, I loved it. It's so good to recap on it. What a journey.
We're very blessed because I was talking to a lady the other day who's done this on her own, and we've actually arranged like monthly meetings with her because she still kind of feels like she's on her own with it. And I think this is why we're so blessed, is because we do have each other.
Yeah, big time.
Some people don't have that.
No, I think that's important, is to get yourself someone who you can soundboard with, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, I've always had that with you.
Yeah, and a soundboarding can be anything, can't it?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be work, does it? For sure. So yeah, as I said before, if there's something you wish we'd gone into in more detail, or if listening to this has inspired a question, just send it to us. Because I think we'd actually quite love to, because we could hop on any time of day and record a quick 20-minute answer, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
So just let us know, because we would really enjoy that. So next year, isn't it? Next year, the next podcast.
January is, yep.
We'll be talking about AEO and GEO and SEO and what it really means. So obviously we're getting people asking about AI search and a few narratives about how AI search is bigger than SEO and whether it needs to prioritize, all that kind of thing. We're going to be picking apart some myths to some degree and bringing the data to the table and telling you our approach and how we're thinking about it. So would love for you to tune in, throw any questions our way about AEO, GEO, and we'd love to answer them. And yeah, subscribe to the podcast. You can follow us on LinkedIn. Tell us about your freelancing journey. Tell us about your questions. Ask us about AEO, GEO. And you'll find us on any podcast platform, what are they called? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Leigh normally does it at the outro. Sorry, that was so bad.
It's fine. Oh man, I love these.
I should have left that to you, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. It's going to take some editing.
Literally, Mark's going to need, an extra hour of pay.
Yeah, anyway. Lovely to have you, mate. Here's to 26.
Lovely to have you. Mark's a legend freelancer, mate, isn't he?
Mark is, if anyone needs any video editing, Mark, you can keep that bit in.
Yeah, he's a 1%er.
He's a 1%er.
Yeah, he just helps us sometimes. He'll be like, "Oh, girls, do you want some advice on something?" And we're like, "Yes, Mark." It just goes a bit above scope, doesn't he?
He's like, "Your mic's a shit."
Yeah, exactly. Wear your headphones. Your mic's a shit. And then we got new lovely microphones.
We have,
because of his recommendation.
I hope they're okay. Yeah, absolutely. Right, over and out. See you in the new year.
Over and out. See you in 2026.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Forank Marketing Podcast. We'll be releasing a new episode every month, so don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.